All right. So once again, good evening to all of us. My name is Mr. Edward Mafo, and I'm the General Secretary of YEC. This evening, let me use the opportunity to welcome all of us onto this conference call. As you are privy to, this is part of arrangements and preparations for our upcoming event. And aside that, also for you to know your way around when it comes to official business of the house. So you are welcome, and you are welcome. I think the first session of the training on parliamentary business uh, happened about 2 weeks ago, and then tonight we are going to continue with the trainings on parliamentary business, just as we did the last time. Kindly note that the event or the training is being recorded, and then also we are streaming live also on our YouTube platform. So in case you lose some of the sound or some bite or anything, note that it's being recorded as well. So you are welcome, and I hope that today also you will get value for the training we need to have. Honorable Raphael, if you can hear me, kindly unmute your microphone for me, if you can hear me. All right, so Honorable Raphael, so tonight Honorable Raphael will take us through the training session, just as he did the last time. So Honorable Raphael, the floor is open, and I'll just be on standby in case you need anything. Thank you, and have a blessed training.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Edward Mafo, the General Secretary of YEC. You've been a very wonderful person to me personally, and then also to other young minds. That's one thing I admire about you is your consistency.
I think your voice is a bit low.
Is it far away? Is it okay?
It was low.
Okay. But how about now?
At my end is okay. Honorable members, if the voice is okay, kindly give an indication, maybe a thumbs up. Let's know so that we can continue. Okay, all right. So you can proceed.
Okay, thank you very much once again. So as I was saying, I admire your consistency and then the way you want things to be done in the right way. So I appreciate you. Thank you once again for this opportunity to also interact with other honorable members. We all learn together. As I said earlier on Facebook, that learning is a lifelong activity. The immediately you stop learning, then it means that you stop exist as a person. So every day, wherever we find ourselves, we should try as much as possible to learn something. So this evening will not be an exception. We are going to continue from where we ended the last time. So by way of review, last week we talked about parliamentary business generally, where we said that there are three arms of government, that's executive, the judiciary, and then the legislature, that's parliament. But as far back as 1850, we had our first legislative council, which main duty was to only to advise the governor on lawmaking. But things have reformed to as to what we have today. So under the 1992 Constitution, that's the fourth Republican Constitution, we've had 9 parliaments so far. So we are in the 9th parliament now, which have, we're supposed to have 266 members. 266 members, but as we speak now, there's one seat that is still not declared. So that's that. And then we also looked at some basic documents that are used in Parliament. So we spoke about the standing orders, we spoke about the Parliamentary Hands Act, and then we delved extensively on the standing orders, which will be continuing today as we progress. Then we take some few questions and then we'll end. Now, today, before I go straight into the rest of the standing orders, I want to address some few issues. in Parliament, there are channels that honorable members use to address their grievances or let their issues be heard by the public or even their colleagues or the floor. There are channels or there are ways that is done. Basically, we are going to look about 3 of those ones. In Parliament, if you want to have issues, if you want your issues to be heard, you can go through what is called the statements. So if you look at the other paper, they are mostly statements captured on it. We have 2 forms. We have statements, a 5-minute statement, and then we have statements. Then you can also go through a motion. We'll go through a motion. So we'll look at what the motion is, we'll look at the forms, and then you can also go through a petition, what is called a petition. So when we deal with those 3 things, then we'll go to the standing orders again and look at order 107 to 114, and then we'll conclude with 124 downward, that's committees. So basically today, that's what we are going to be dealing with. So you bear with me. Okay. So I hope my screen is clear for everybody to see. Okay. So I'll start with motions. Now, what is a motion? A motion basically is a request for something to be done. A request for something to be done or an action to be taken, or a request for an action not to be taken. That's basically a motion. So any member is at liberty to file a motion, but the motion that is being filed has to follow some procedures or specific steps. Generally, there are 2 main types of motions. What is called procedural motions and then substantive motions. All motions that are filed in Parliament need to be accepted by the Speaker or admitted by the Speaker before it can fly. But the substantive motion, a notice need to be served first, and then that substantive motion have to, the Speaker or admit it, and then it will find its way on the order paper before it can be taken. But when it comes to the procedural motions, those ones are done in procedure. So Parliament cannot, the sitting cannot be halted for a notice to go to be served before the motion is taken. So that's why it is called procedural motion. So within procedure. So example of procedural motions, one is a motion to amend a motion. A motion to amend a motion, that's procedural. It is within the process. So somebody have moved a motion, the motion has been seconded, but maybe the wording, the text of the motion is not right. So there needs to be amended. So somebody can raise a motion to amend that motion, and it is procedural. So it don't need to be, notice not need to be served with the Speaker. But the Speaker have to accept or admit that that motion is to be taken to amend the motion on floor. Another example of procedural motion is a motion to suspend the House. So at the end of business or when there's an urgency, an honorable member can rise and move a motion for the House to be suspended or the House to be adjourned. And that motion needs to be administered by the Speaker. So all motion moved need to be moved and seconded before it can work in the House. So if you look at the standing orders of YEC and even the standing orders of the National Parliament, it talks extensively about that. But bear in mind that the National Parliament, that is the 9th Parliament as we have it now, they are working with the new standing orders. So the standing orders that they've been using since 92 or 93 have been amended or reviewed. So the 9th Parliament is using a newer version. Though basically almost all the things are the same, but there are few additions and a few subtractions. So when time permits us, I'll just go briefly about the differences that I've seen so far in the new standing orders. But for now, let's focus on what we have. So a motion shall take the form of verbal motion or written motion. So the verbal motion are mostly procedural. They are mostly procedural. But the substantive motion are a written motion. So mostly, even before you come out with a substantive motion, you serve a notice to the speaker. For instance, let me give this example. There's been a ruling by the speaker on a matter, but one caucus, either the minority or the majority, feel that the ruling didn't go well. But the standing orders, the speaker's ruling cannot be challenged unless you come with a substantive motion. So you serve a notice to the speaker that on this day, or will come with a substantive motion to challenge the ruling. Then you follow up with the motion. So the motion written will be given to the table office. Immediately the table office receive it within a time frame as stated by the standing orders, have to transfer the motion to the speaker. Then the speaker will admit the motion or cause to the text to be amended, then communicate to the table office that whether the motion has been accepted or not, and then the table office will then communicate to the member who made file the motion. Then it will be put on the order paper for the day that the motion needs to be taken. So that's substantive motion. But for the procedural, during procedures, you can rise, catch the speaker's eye, and then move a motion for maybe amendment to the order paper, or you can move a motion for a matter to be referred to a committee, or a petition that has been received by the speaker should be referred to a committee. These are all procedural motions. Okay. So let's look at what the standing orders are saying. A written motion shall be forwarded through the table office to the speaker, as I said earlier on. A verbal motion shall be moved by a member rising to his feet to attract the attention of the speaker, who may give him or her to move the motions. The motions moved must be seconded before they must be considered for deliberation. So as I already said, the motion needs to be moved by an honorable member, seconded by another honorable member before the motion can be considered for deliberation. Okay. So these are the basis of which a motion can be moved, as I said. A motion for breach of order that amount to contempt of Parliament. A motion for adjournment of sittings or debates. A motion for a petition to be read or referred to a committee of the House for redress. So as I said earlier on, we'll be looking at petition. So petition 2 is one of the, so when a petition is received by the speaker, an honorable member can move a motion that the petition should be read or the petition should be referred to a committee. The new standing orders of the 9th Parliament says that the petition should be referred to the petitions committee or any committee of relevant importance. Okay. So these are all circumstances that were called for a motion. So a motion to withdraw a motion. Somebody move a motion, the motion is seconded. During the deliberation, somebody can rise and move a motion to withdraw that motion, or even the mover of the motion himself or herself can move a different motion to withdraw. But take note, a motion move that is not seconded cannot be considered. Cannot be considered. So a motion, any motion that a speaker deemed necessary to be heard shall be considered by the speaker's own discretion. So the speaker have those discretions. Okay. So that's a bit about motions. Okay. Now concerning petitions, petition is also another way of letting your issues be heard by the floor. So in this case, you are presenting a petition to the House that something to bring to light an issue. It can be a personal matter, or it can be an issue of public interest. Okay. Now, a member presenting a petition to the House must put his or her name at the beginning of it and shall give notice of his intention to present the petition. So let's pay attention here. A member presenting a petition to the House must put his or her name at the beginning of it. So if you go and do otherwise, the petition will be rejected. A petition must contain a prayer at end and the core objective of the petition stated. So the prayer here is your request, what you want the petition should do. If it is a personal matter, what you seek the petition to do, or the one you petition, what you seek that person to do for you, have to come at the end of the petition, and the core objective of it must be stated. A petitioner must sign and write his or her address below the signature. A petition must be written in English language only. So these are things that if you are not privy to it, or you don't have understanding of these things, and then you present anything to the speaker that is a petition, if it doesn't meet all these things, then the petition will not be heard or shall not be listened to. So recently, there are groups that presented petitions to Parliament. Up to now, some of them have not heard anything about it. It's possible they didn't follow the procedure, or they didn't put the petition in proper context. So let's ask ourselves, here the standing orders are saying that the petition must be written in English language only. So what about somebody sit down and put a petition in another language? Would that petition be accepted? No, it does not qualify to be accepted. All petitioners must all write their names and sign by them. The petition must be addressed to the speaker and copies to his deputies, as well as the majority and then minority leaders, and the clerk to the youth model parliament. So let's pay attention. I'm going through all these things because in 3rd May we'll be meeting. We want some of you to learn and try some of these things. Let's see how Parliament work. It's not only about we going there and then all that. Then we'll come out with a debate topic. Then we'll debate about. But let's see you practicing the actual parliamentary process. So people should start putting out petitions. When you go there and then the speaker is elected, you start doing your petition in there. You can start filing your motions and the rest. That's why I'm taking my time to go through all this. So, composition of petition committee. So once the petition is received, when the speaker deems the petition to be not to be frivolous and admits the petition, then there should be a composition of petition committee, which will be an ad hoc committee. Now, when I say an ad hoc committee, is that committee that is set for a specific purpose, for a specific duration. Once the committee finishes its work, that committee ceases to exist. So it's not part of the standing committees that you have in Parliament. This is an ad hoc committee. Once it is set for a specific purpose, once that specific purpose is achieved, then that committee is dissolved. So the standing orders, order 151 is saying that there should be a petition committee which shall consist of not more than 15 members selected by the selection committee with the order of Mr. Speaker as and when necessary. So we'll look at committee. So we will look at how what the selection committee is. Okay. So it shall be the duty of the committee to investigate the petition referred to them by the Speaker from the youth or youth group of the public who may be aggrieved by any mistake, out of negligence, or other shortcomings committed by any public officer in the performance of his duty or any action taken and report to the House. So the committee will investigate, put up report, and then the report will be delivered to the floor. And then once the committee's report is received, then there will be operations as the standing orders are saying. So that's a bit about petition. The last part that I'll talk about is statement. Now, statement, when you look at order 75, you have statement. There we have short statement and long statement. The short statements are mostly when before the commencement of public business, the Speaker can just put statement, and honorable members who may rise early, the Speaker may give them some time to make a statement. The standing orders is saying that not more than 5 minutes and not more than 3 people should take that statement, even though the Speaker can give with discretion, can allow for more than the 5 minutes as related by the standing orders, but the standing orders is clear on that. So the first one is the short statement, that's 5-minute statement. Subject to this order, a member may take a statement lasting not more than 5 minutes on any subject of his choice. So, and then 2, no more than 3 members may make such statement on any sitting day. So 5 minutes each, but no more than 3 are allowed. But notwithstanding paragraph 2 of this order, Mr. Speaker may allow a member to make more than 1 5-minute statement in the same meeting. So depending on the subject matter or the interest of the statement being made by the member, the Speaker can decide to allow for more than the 5 minutes. So these are statements, and it's basically used to draw the House attention to some crucial matters, some crucial issues happening around that the House may not be aware of. It can be a personal matter. It can be a personal matter, but where it is a matter of public interest, it is allowed for a member to make those statements. Now, say that order 76.3 say that a 5-minute statement made by a member may not be commented upon by any other member. So here too, there can be discretion where the Speaker can allow for a comment, but the standing orders is clear that normally the 5-minute statements are not supposed to be commented on. Then order 75 talk about statements. So that's where you see in the order paper it is put the statement. Here, this statement, you need to notice the Speaker through the table office and even give the topic or the theme of the statement to Mr. Speaker for it to be admitted and then program on the order paper. By the indulgence of the House and the leave of Mr. Speaker, a member may, at the time appointed for statement under Order 55, explain a matter of a personal nature or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance. Any statement other than a statement of personal nature may be commented upon by other members for a limited duration of time, not exceeding 1 hour. So these are the two statements that you can see in the other paper. The short statement, that's the 5-minute statement. That one, the speaker just says statement, and then the first 3 lucky honorable members are called to make a statement. So honorable members, prepare, get topics, get interesting topics or issues of public interest. These days, I'm sure before we go to the main sitting, the current affairs that we have in the country, I'm not sure to be that of. We still have Galamsey issues. We still have the removal of the Chief Justice. Just today, she has been suspended and a committee has been set up to inquire into the petition. So all these matters are there. So prepare yourself well. Then standing on this order, either order 76 or 75, you can make your statement so that your voice can be heard. All right. I hope you are making progress.
Yes, Honorable.
That's fine. Now that we look at what a motion is, what a statement is, and then what a petition is, I want us to go back to looking at the standing orders extensively. So we'll start from order 107. If you remember, last we ended at order 105. We talked about the dressing. Order 106 talk about lateness, but I'm sure honorable members have read that, so they are okay with that. So I'll quickly go to order 107. So order 106 talk about lateness. I'll talk about, we'll go to order 107. This is order in the House. Order 107 says, whenever Mr. Speaker rise or address the House, any member then standing shall immediately resume his or her seat, and Mr. Speaker shall be heard in total silence. The total is not here, but I've added it. That's the standing orders. So once you are speaking and then Mr. Speaker begin to address, every honorable member have to resume their seats. These are parliamentary terms. When I say resume your seat, it means sit down. Basically, that's the meaning. So anytime the speaker rise or the speaker begin to address the House, all honorable members must resume their seat and keep quiet and listen to the speaker in silence. The speaker cannot be heckled. The speaker cannot go, there can be those comments when the speaker is speaking. The speaker needs to be heard in absolute silence. So we should take note of that. Then 108 says that the ruling of the chair not subject to appeal except that substantive motion, as I've already mentioned. Now, when the speaker rule on a matter, it is not subject to appeal, or you can't stand just on the floor of Parliament to challenge the speaker's ruling. But if you want to do that, you have to come with substantive motion. But first, serving a notice that you will be coming to challenge the ruling with a substantive motion. So the speaker shall be responsible for the observance of order in the House and of the rules of debate, and his decisions upon any point of order shall not be open to appeal and shall not be reviewed by the House, except upon a substantive motion made after notice. So you pay attention here, after notice. So you have to serve notice the same day that you'll be coming with a substantive motion to challenge or to seek a redress of the speaker's ruling. Then you follow up, following the steps that you've already stated on how you should put your motion, then it is done. Then 109, a member deviating from the House may be immediately called to order by the speaker or any other member. I think this point we raised the last time, that any member when a member is making a speech and you know or you feel that the person is deviating from the order or is throwing dust into the eyes of the people, then you stand on this order or any other relevant order to bring the person to order. The speaker can do that himself or herself, or any honorable member can do that. All right. Mr. Speaker may order a member whose conduct is grossly disorderly to withdraw immediately from the House during the remainder of the day's sittings, and the marshal shall act on such orders as may receive from the chair in pursuance of the provisions of this paragraph. So I stated a bit about it when I was discussing the role of the marshal the last time. So once the speaker says that an honorable member have grossly disrespected the House, the speaker can call that honorable member to be suspended from the House for the entire sitting, or can give a duration, maybe a 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 20 minutes, depending on the discretion of the speaker. But mostly in the case where the person is parliamentary naked, the speaker give 5 to 15 minutes to the person to go and dress properly or cover the nakedness and come back. It's only when the member fails to comply by the speaker's directive that that member is subsequently referred to the privileges committee. But here, the speaker will give order, and then the marshal will act upon the order and remove the honorable member from the House. Okay, so that's 110. We have a lot of then suspension of a member. So the speaker also have the power under this order, both order 110 and order 111, to suspend a member from the House. That one we'll look at. You take note of all these things that you can constitute the suspension or the removal or the withdrawal. So let's take note of that. Let's read through and understand. So order 114. In the case of grave disorder arising in the House, Mr. Speaker may, if he thinks it's necessary to do so, adjourn the House without question put or suspend the House till a time to be named by him. So when you go for a sitting and then maybe during debate or something and it becomes so heated that there's disorder in the House, because the Speaker is in charge of the House, he can suspend the House without putting a question, or adjourn the House without putting a question. And so let's take note of that. That in case some of these things happened, you shouldn't be so much surprised because it is provided for in the standing orders. All right. So, honorable members, we'll be taking the last part and then we'll bring our presentation to a close. Today, I said I won't talk much. We'll do this and then we'll give you the opportunity to ask all your questions. Well, I'm sure this is the last training before we meet in May, though there will be a meeting the General Secretary to finalize the activities before we go for the sitting in May. But for parliamentary training, this is the last one before we meet next week. And then after that, we can continue the training. So we are going to look at order 124. We talk about committees. These are committees that are supposed to be established, but they are not exhaustive. So at any point in time where the needs arise, a new committee may be added. And some of this committee may also not be formed depending on the needs of the time. So, but we'll go through all of them so that you abreast yourself with it. You know the qualification, you know the composition. And so when we meet, and then when they open for committees, we can apply and know the procedure to use to apply. At the first sitting of every new parliament at all levels shall constitute committee of selection of 11 members with the speaker as the chair of the house. The committee of selection shall appoint committee heads and chairpersons, that's heads or chairpersons and vice chairs of the following committees of youth model parliament. So let's pay attention here. At the first sitting of every parliamentary sitting at all levels shall constitute, so there shall be a constitution of an 11-member committee to be called Committee of Selection, and the speaker will chair that committee. It is the responsibility of the committee to appoint the chairpersons or their vice for the committees as I will state them. These are the committees. We have the Standing Order Committee, Business Committee, Publicity, Organizing, Programs Committee, Research, Committee on Internal and External Affairs, Finance and Sponsorship, Privileges Committee, Health, Education, Environmental Protection, Human Rights, Road Safety, Youth Development, Governance Project Monitoring, Election Monitoring, Democracy and Good Governance Advocacy, Peace Building and Conflict Resolution Advocacy, Gender Advocacy Committee, Sports and Entertainment, Welfare, Chieftaincy, and Culture Committee. Parliament shall constitute the above-mentioned committees by at least 2 weeks after the general election. So when after after that, we'll constitute the committees. But that day, the committee of selection will meet. The committee of selection will meet to select heads and chairpersons of the various committees. So I'll briefly go through some of the composition of those committees. The Standing Order Committee shall be under the chairmanship of the speaker. So the standing orders as we are using now was reviewed recently, and then the then speaker was the chairman, and then the 2 deputies, and then 8 other members were appointed by the committee of selection on that committee to look at the standing orders as we are using them now. So that's the standing order committee. Then we have the business committee. There shall be a business committee consisting of 13 members and composed of majority leader as the chairperson. So let's take note. The majority leader is the chairperson of the business committee. The minority leader, the chief whip of both caucuses, the chairpersons of publicity and organizing committee, and 7 other members. So if you look at it, already out of the 13, some of the membership have been defined already. Out of the 13, 6 have been defined already. The majority leader is there, the minority leader is in. Both FIPs, the chief whip of both caucuses are part, and then the publicity and organizing committee are also part. Then 7 other members will be appointed to join. So if you are interested in the business committee, look at it. What do they do? The business committee shall compile the order business of every sitting, which shall be forwarded to the clerk 5 days ahead of the impending sitting to set out the order paper for dissemination to members. The chairman of the business committee, that's the majority leader, shall introduce the business of the house during every sitting. So you take note of that. Any member who wants to present a statement for purposes of debate or motion or petition must send his or her consent to the business committee at least a week. That's 7 days ahead of time. So take note of this. All right. The next committee is the publicity. Then the publicity committee should have a maximum number of 23. So there is no minimum, so a maximum. So you can't go beyond 23. And the deputy chief whip of both caucuses are members. So the chairperson shall be appointed by the committee of selection as we saw in Order 124. So those who are interested, especially those who are good in social media handles, publicity, media relations, you should join this committee to help to promote even your own activities in your constituency, and then the general activity or the outlook of YEC going in the future. So take note of this, and when the time comes, you join. Then the organizing committee also have a maximum number of 23, and then also the chairperson will be selected by the committee of the selection committee. So it is their duty to arrange as we go in. You see that before you get there, everything, arrangement of sitting and everything is in order. It is the duty of the committee to do that, the organizing committee. Then the programs committee have a membership no more than 17. So those who are interested, you can join so that you can help the director of programs to execute programs for all of us for our benefit. Okay. Then Finance and Sponsorship Committee, very crucial committee, also have a maximum of 23, but also have predetermined membership. So the Finance and Sponsorship Committee shall comprise of maximum of 23 members with minority leader as the chairperson. Then 22 other members shall be chosen from the House, with 11 each from a caucus. The sponsorship committee shall be in charge of raising funds for the House, especially during outreach programs. So, minority leader, you take note of that so that when we meet, we can discuss how we can raise funds so that we can undertake some of your outreach programs as we go forward. They have the research committee, also 15 members drawn from the two caucuses, internal and external committee, then committee of privileges or privileges committee, which is also 23, a maximum of 23 member committee, with the second deputy speaker as the chairperson, deputy minority, deputy majority leader are also members, and then 19 others will join them. Their core function shall be to recommend to Parliament names of members or leaders to be awarded privileges to, or withdraw certain privileges from such leaders or members in strict, honest manner. It shall be the duty of the committee by order of the House to inquire into any complaint of contempt of Parliament. The privileges committee shall take up all issues on allegations of breach of orders or law in the House. So those who are very good with investigation and then inquiries can also apply to join the privileges committee. They have the health committee, their name suggests. They have the education committee, as the name suggests, the environmental protection committee, human rights advocacy. So these are all the committees that we have. As I said earlier on, they are not exhaustive. So as the need be, a committee can be added or a committee can be taken out. It doesn't mean that when we meet on the 3rd, we are going to form all these committees, but some of the committees, it is standard that we get them. So when those committees are announced, and then your scripts or your caucus leaders inform you, kindly apply and take part of their activities. So honorable members, this evening, this is where we bring our training to a close. We'll take questions. We'll take a few questions. We'll try as much as possible to answer all of them. So at this juncture, I'll end and then hand over to our General Secretary, Mr. Edward Marfo, to moderate how the questions goes. Thank you very much, honorable members.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Honorable Member.
Honorable Raphael, thank you very much for the insightful presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable, for your insightful presentation.
Honorable members, so this is what we will do. In case you have a question, you just put up your hand. And then when I call you, then you unmute your microphone and you present your question. Please go straight to the point so that we can pick most questions and then we can answer them. All right, thank you. Honorable Robin Adiko, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, thank you, Honorable, for your presentation. Please, I have two questions. On the beginning, you said we can be heard in a house in three ways: one through statement, motion, and then petition. So I want to ask, I know with the motion, we have the procedural and then the substantive, which that one we have to write to the table office, the forwarded to the speaker before. I want to know in the course of the meeting going on. So how are we going to present it? Does it mean we just have to stand up when we cut the eye of the speaker, then we start to say, okay, I have a statement or I have a motion. How are we going to present it? And then my second question, with the committees, I know we have a lot of committees. So how many committee is a member allowed to join? Yeah, that is my question. Thank you very much. I don't know whether you get me correctly.
All right, Honorable Raphael, kindly answer this. I think he asked two questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So on the first one, procedural motion, you just rise when you catch the speaker's eye, and then you do that. But last week I said something that some of these things are very technical. So the best way to do it is to pass it through your whip. And then your whip will also inform the leader. Once the leader rise up, the speaker will call the leader, and then the leader can put whatever motion you have through. That's the procedural. But substantive, you have to write through the table office, and it needs to be admitted by the speaker. Find its way on the order paper before you can take that motion. So that's a bit about explanation to that question. The second part is that the standing orders is saying that at least a member should belong to a committee, but doesn't put a cap on it. So we would just advise that look at your strengths, look at the time available to you, and then join the committees that you think your expertise will be needed, and then your time can also allow. Don't just join committees because you are joining, but join because one, you want to learn something, two, you want to contribute to it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for word reading. I'll convert here. It wouldn't look that nice. But I'm going to try to convert here to PDF. It will look very well. Just any award there.
Mr. Map, we are on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, hello.
Abdul Munib. If you can hear me, kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for.
Abdul Ishak.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible now.
All right, all right.
Your turn.
Okay. Hello. Hello.
We
Please,
can hear you.
me? Okay.
Yes.
So I find myself in a situation whereby I have to attend the swearing in, but this is a situation I can't skip. My exams date was scheduled on that same 3rd. So I want to know, is there any way possible I could participate or even take part in some of the activities without even being there? Because I'm confused right now. I don't know how it is going to be. I don't know if you can educate me on or possible.
That one is not a question for
yes,
parliamentary business. That particular question, the answer is
All right,
that
sir.
swearing-ins are compulsory. This year, the swearing-in we are doing, there is no option to stay out. I think someone asked me or sent me a message.
That's
There
me.
is no option to stay out of swearing-in. The best we can do is to defer an individual who is not coming admission to the program to next year. That is an option that we are considering. However, if it's beyond reach, you can also still write officially to my office, and then we'll look at it. If it's possible to come by other means to get you still on the program, that is okay. But if not, then we will have to defer the honorable members' admission to the program to next year. So what usually happens is that when we are done with registrations and you don't show up for swearing in, we take you off the platforms, or we recreate our main platforms and then keep you out of that, because an honorable member is supposed to be sworn in, and then the date also we can't change it. The possibilities of how best we can run around with that. So that is it. Are you clear on that, please?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. Honorable Yakubu Abdul Fattah, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Hello, good evening, honorable members. Please, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. I can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and thanks to Honorable Raphael for the knowledge shared. Mine is like a form of clarification that I need. Honorable, when you were speaking about the petition aspect, you made mention of co-petitioners, and I had wanted to know if it is in a case where the petition is being brought forward by more than one person. Thank you.
All right. Let's take that of Honorable Akudugu Nobet. Your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. All right. I think we've lost him. Honorable Joseph Wani, your hand is up. Kindly unmute.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
All right. Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to ask my question. I'm Honorable Akudugu Nobet from our constituency, and my question is from Order 124, the last paragraph, Order 124, which stated Parliament shall constitute the above-mentioned committee by at most 2 weeks after general election. And I want to know, it stated that at most 2 weeks after the general election, and I think the general election is more than 2 weeks now. And I want to be clear on that part. And my next question also is from the Order 126, Order 1264. Any member who wants to present a statement for purpose of debate or motion or petition must send his or her consent to the business committee at least 1 week ahead of sitting for consideration. And I want to know, for instance, if I want to present my motion or petition on the 3rd of May, while the business committee is not yet formed, how am I going to do that? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Honorable Raphael, I think we can take the first two and then take the rest.
Okay. Thank you. So the first one is about whether the petitioners, if it is in respect to more than one person writing the petition, yes. If it is more than one person, then the addition become co-petitioners. So they all become co-petitioners. So all of them need to sign. That's that one. And then the second question is on Order 124, the last paragraph. And then even with the last question, you are not yet a member of the YMP proper because you've not been sworn in. So everything we are doing, most of the things will start when you are inaugurated, that's where Parliament session starts. That's where the business committee will be formed. Though yesterday the majority leaders and the minority leaders were appointed, but they are yet to even form the business committee to have its full complement. So let's wait after May 3rd. We can talk about the rest of the issues. Thank you.
All right. Honorable Joseph Wani, your hand is up. Honorable Joseph Wani, your hand is up. If you can hear me, kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Good evening, honorable members. Thank you very much, GS. And thank you to Honorable Raphael for his clear presentation. Please,
is it from my end or is from you? It's from his end.
Yeah. Hello.
You are audible now, Honorable.
Yes. My question is: can an honorable member be part of?
Can an honorable member be part of what?
Be part of two or more committees. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay, he will answer that. Honorable Gideon Isia, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, GS. Honorable Raphael, I would want to understand the order 126 and order 124. Order 126, which speaks about the business committee, and order 124, that talks about the committee of selection. With the business committee, according to the standing orders, the majority leader shall be the chairperson of the business committee. And now the order 124 also states that the committee of selection shall select the committee heads. So I would want to understand if these are not, if these two motions are not actually contradicting each other, because I wouldn't want to know if the committee of selection will select the members, bring it out before the House. And what if they do not select the majority leader as the chairperson? That is what I would want to know. Or is there any ways that the committee of selection will select a different person to be the committee chairperson instead of the majority leader, which the standing order states clearly that the majority leader shall be the chairperson? And my last question is, in your submission, you made mention about the speaker ruling on a motion which some of the honorable members may think that it is not fair, or the speaker has been biased. So, and they are supposed to move a substantive motion, which means that they need to send this motion to the speaker to notify him about moving a substantive motion in order to be debated on. So I would want to know that when this thing is done, can the honorable member move or send to the speaker the substantive motion on the same day or during the same time when the sitting is in progress? Thank you.
All right. Honorable Raphael, I think you can take these questions, then we move on to the rest.
Okay, thank you very much. So for the first one, whether an honorable member can be part of more than one committee, the answer is yes, but we advise that look at your expertise and then look at the time available to you to join the number of committees that you want to. Then on the order 124 and then 126, whether there's contradiction. No, there's no contradiction. The standing orders are just clear, saying that the committee of selection should select to appoint chairpersons of the committees. But in some instances, the standing orders have been clear that this person should be appointed the head of that committee. There's no contradiction there. unless maybe the order is saying that the minority leader should be a leader here, and then the other order is saying majority leader, then that's where there will be a contradiction. But here it is stating that appoint this person as the head of the committee. So there's no contradiction there, my brother. Then the last part of your question is about the substantive motion. So if you look at the standing orders, because of time, I didn't go through that. You can't bring the substantive motion on the same day. You have to write to the clerk. It takes days. It takes 24 hours for the clerk to transmit the substantive motion to the speaker. The speaker will give response back to the clerk, and then the clerk will inform, or the table office will inform the member. So it can happen on the same day. Thank you very much. I don't know if I've answered all the questions.
All right, Honorable Gideon. Let us know if yes.
GS, I think. Yes, please. GS, I think with the second, my first question about the business committee, which the order 126 and order 124. My question was about, is there any case that the selection or the committee of selection will select a member who is not a majority leader as a chairperson of the business committee? For instance, the committees are many. That's what I wanted to know. And
no.
In case,
no,
okay, so in case, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Honorable Prince Mensah, your hand is up. If you can hear me, kindly unmute your microphone. Question.
Thank you, Honorable, for giving me this opportunity. My question is of regard to the parliamentary committee that we are having. My question is, when and how can a member of parliament join committee of?
I don't know if my network, but I can't hear the question.
Hello.
Yes. I think you're having a network challenge. So if you can put the question in the chat box, that will also not be bad.
Okay. Okay.
Honorable Abdullah, you can ask your question.
Okay, Honorable Abdullah Zaria, your hand is. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Hello, Honorable. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Please, can I give a statement on a region or only my constituency? A statement. Can I give it on the region or only my constituency?
Okay, Honorable Raphael.
Okay, so it's general. So your constituency, your region, or even Ghana or beyond Ghana, you can give a statement.
Thank you, Honorable.
You are welcome. Any other hand up? Any other question? Honorable Prince Mensah, I think your question. Can you come back again?
Okay, thank you. Audible.
Yes, I think you are. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity. The question was with regards to the parliamentary committees. My question is, when and how can a member of parliament join a committee of the parliament? Thank you.
Oh, okay. So, Honorable Raphael, I think I now get the question. He is asking, as of when and how can an honorable member join a committee or join any of the committees? So that is his question.
So after inauguration, the modalities and channels will be announced by your clerks, your whips. Then we'll take it from there. So after the inauguration.
All right, thank you. Any other hand up? Any other hand up? Any other question? Let me see if there are some in the comment box. Okay, there isn't. Any other question? All right, so in the absence of any other question, Honorable Raphael, I think we will take your final word, and then I'll pass an announcement and we can close. So Honorable Raphael, you have the floor again.
Please, I have a question.
Someone says you have a question. Honorable Bethel, kindly unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Good evening, Honorable Member. My question is, I send the suspension. Can the Speaker of Parliament suspend a member up to a month? Thank you.
Okay, you're asking if a Speaker of Parliament can suspend a member?
Yes, up to a month.
Okay, Honorable Raphael. All right, I think we've lost the trainer. However, what I know is the Speaker of YMP, just like the Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, also have that capacity to suspend an honorable member. I believe that the suspensions are not just done. The suspensions are done when there are clear indications that the honorable member must be suspended. So just as that, the suspension here is also possible. But then it's not just, it does not just wake up and go about suspending people. So that is possible. The Speaker of YMP can suspend an honorable member of the House for a period as well. And then disciplinary measures and the rest are also found, I think, in the standing orders. Yes, Honorable Akudugu Norbert, your hand is up.
All right, thank you very much. As my brother just asked, I want to know, can the Speaker declare a seat vacant in the Youth Model Parliament?
Okay, so again, when necessary, the Speaker can also declare a seat vacant. So if a member, let's say a member withdraw, or a member have to be taken out of the House, the Speaker can declare a seat vacant. But with our case, that doesn't mean we will have it. If the Speaker declares the seat vacant, that seat will remain vacant until the program year ends. That is it with our case. Because if the seat is declared vacant, there has to be processes for a by-election and others to get a replacement. But in our model parliament, we end registrations for a program year. So there wouldn't be a by-election, but then the Speaker can declare that if indeed the seat is vacant within that program year. I don't know if I've answered you. Honorable Akudugu Norbert.
Yes, please. Yes, please. It's very clear. Thank you for that.
You are welcome. All right. So, honorable members, I think our meeting is ending. And the only issue is that the parliamentary business itself is a lot of knowledge you have to learn and consume. And most of these come in from time to time. So You have to practice them, you have to read your orders, you have to keep up with it. And as time goes on, you become used to the processes that it comes with. So let's keep on reading. And then again, the standing orders also undergoes review and a lot of changes. That is why we always have the standing orders committee of the House. That is the purpose of it, to fine-tune portions that are not in sync, provided it comes up as a contradiction and the rest. So take note of all of these points. Now, the announcement is that if Honorable Raphael is here, Honorable Raphael, thank you very much for your time with us tonight. Now, the announcement is that our inauguration is on the 3rd, and the date remains on the 3rd of May. Again, it's just a day's meeting. And just as I have been saying, if you know your way around Accra, you're already around and the rest, you don't need to lodge. You come in the morning and then we take the processes. As you know, this time around, the speaker will be elected face to face. We've not done one before. This time around, that is what we are doing. So you can, excuse me, the speaker will be elected early in the morning before the actual sessions will start. If I say the actual sessions, a few presentations here and there will come in, possibly from our guest. But we'll do that of the speaker election first before we sit for the presentation from our guest, possibly. So take note of that. And then aside that, tomorrow, God willing, I'll be sharing a link with you to cross-check the details on your ID cards. Kindly, when you receive the link, go through it. If there are mistakes in any of it, prompt me so that we can do adjustments and changes and corrections as well. We are likely to print them on Friday, this very Friday. Laminate, fix them in their holders and the rest for collection. So if I send it to you, please go through. If yours is still not captured, you prompt me so that we can get it integrated. So kindly take note of that. And then we're supposed to have had the General Secretary's meeting with members, I think on 26. That is the place of that. I'll be meeting here at administration. So that of the meeting between the General Secretary and the members. Between the General Secretary and the members to brief you on the order of business, as in the activities that we'll be having in detail, will rather be pushed to next week Tuesday. So next week Tuesday, we will have that particular session, and then the rest will be for us to prepare towards our upcoming event. Now, finally, I will entreat that we pay attention on the pages. As it's left with a few time for the program, there will be a lot of information coming in here and there for you to maybe contribute to motions for debate, pay attention to speaker nominee processes and the rest. Let's pay attention and responsive, but there isn't also much time for us to put some of the things together. So without much ado, I think that is the announcement I have to pass over. Honorable James, your hand is up. Do you have an indication or any other thing? Honorable James Kwaku.
Good evening, honorable members. Please, my question is, during parliamentary sitting, when it happened to be like one honorable member is absent, can you raise an issue that is concerned about that constituency with the absence of that parliamentary member or honorable member?
Yes, you can raise an issue. It depends on the issue as well. So depending on the issue you want to raise, if it's absent, you can still raise it.
Okay.
Also, you can still read it.
Okay. The second question is petition only going to be based on the national issues, or it can also be done by constituency issues?
So the statement and the petitions can also be on constituency basis. It's not just on national issues.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, honorable members, Honorable Joseph Wachajima, if you are here, let me know.
Hello, GS, I'm around.
All right. So, any final word so that we can close for today?
Oh, I just want to find out if the issue on ministerial uh, uh, process application has been.
Oh, okay. We've not mentioned that. So, as I mentioned, that there will be a lot of. I think a part of it will also be the application to the ministerial positions. Again, there are a couple of ministries that the cabinet or the president will want to work. He will release a list and a communique in that regard. And then individuals who have interest, you can apply vetting as well. And then those of the ministry are working with on the cabinet program. So take note, I think that release will come within this week as well on your pages. So when you see it, fill it if you are interested. Open and read first. And then if you think you are interested, you can apply as well. And the process will continue from there. So that is it with that. That is it with that. So honorable members, thank you very much for your time this evening. Hopefully we'll meet again one more time before we meet for the inauguration itself on the 3rd of May.
All right. Thank you very much and have a good night.
All right. Thank you. And God bless.
We are most grateful.